the summertime, move the kids back from the TV set, Mom. Sparks may fly as the Stoops Freightliner Series livens up your living room. We've got the Hinckley and Schmitt Sprint Car Classic coming up to kick off the second half of the 1997 Sprint Car season. Oh, it is hot. The dog days of Indiana. In the summertime, my dogs are home cool in the air conditioning, watching it on the TV. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Despain. Did not take long here tonight for the action to get hot. Jeff Gordon, he of the mustache, held the track record here for 7 years. He holds it no more. Dave Steele trying to make it a sweep. 3 sprint car races and 3 victories here at IRP. Broke that track record and is now the fastest man ever at the Playground of Champions. But the action started even before that. Let's go to the videotape. This is Hot Laps, and you're going to watch the series point leader, Kevin Thomas, run over from behind by Joey Kerr. This is in practice. Both cars into the wall. The weather is hot. So were the drivers. Thomas and Kerr exchanged a few words. Thomas is not going to be racing here this evening after he cooled off and changed clothes. We had a chance to talk to him. Kevin, first of all, tell me about the frustration of coming in here as the point leader and ending up not being able to race.
Well, you know, the whole year has been, you know, pretty tough, you know, trying to be consistent and stay out of trouble, because consistency is a big part of winning the championship. And we've really tried to keep our nose clean and stay out of trouble and finish all the races. And this deal getting torn up in hot laps is really tough to take.
Let's roll the tape, take another look at this, let you take a look at it, and tell me what your reaction was and why this happened.
Well, what we had done was, last time we were here at Raceway Park, we really weren't that good. We had a decent setup, but it really wasn't that good. And as you can see right there, I'm kind of getting in the corner kind of easy and just taking it easy and feeling the car out. And Joey, evidently, you know, he's trying to get in a little hotter and just got in over my left rear and climbed on top of it. You know, if it was in a race or something like that, I could understand it a lot better. But these are hot laps, and it's meant so we can, you know, feel our cars out and adjust them and get them ready to go qualifying. And to get torn up in hot laps really is pretty tough to take. You tried to get another car to get into to get some points. Tell me about that. Well, you know, all the guys that are running for points, they're all kind of enjoying this deal because this is going to help them all out, and I understand that. Some of the other guys that are here, you know, they're here because it is a TV show and they want to come to Raceway Park and race, and they just, you know, they've got obligations to their sponsors and everything else, so at this point in time, there just isn't another car available. So we will go tonight without the series point leader in a format that finds 3 8-lap qualifying heat races, a 12-lap semi, and a 30-lap main event with Dave Steele, the man that everybody is talking about here at the Playground of Champions and the Sons of Champions. Robbie Rice is going to carry an onboard camera tonight, the Cage Cam, and Dad, the 3-time USAC champ Larry Rice, is up in our broadcast booth, keeping an eye on the boy and trying to get a word in edgewise as he joins our Thunder anchor, Bob Jenkins, for the call of the first heat.
You nervous, Larry?
I'm always nervous.
Well, Robbie won't be racing until the 3rd heat, so you got a few minutes to relax here. The 1st heat is lined up and just about set to get the green flag. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. On the pole will be George Wilkins in the black number 72. On the outside will be the number 40 car driven by Tim Cox. Row number 2, Bill Rose on the inside in car number 6, alongside Pat Abold in number 69. And in the 3rd row, Doug Coletta in car number 22 and Dave Steele in number 2. So there is your lineup. 6 cars scheduled to go in this race. Now, Jeff Bloom was scheduled to go in this race. He'll run the semi. Brad Armstrong is scratched for the evening.
Well, we're taking a look there at David Steele, and of course he has been the hot guy on the pavement all year long. He's driving for Johnny Pence in that Aristocrats Products Win Special, and he's just been very, very tough, and he proved tonight why. He has the race car set up. He's very, very tough to beat on the pavement. He knows how to set the race car up, and he always drives them very hard. He looked a little hairy on that qualifying lap. I mean, he was a little loose. He was, you know, all over the racetrack, but I'll tell you what, he was all over because he was running really, really fast.
And the sprint cars were at Winchester since we had our Thunder telecast, and the winner there was Doug Coletta, and he starts alongside Dave Steele in the 3rd row of this race. So we're probably going to see those 2 guys come to the front. I would guess that Pat Abold will also be strong. We will see what happens here for 8 laps of racing. We mentioned that Jeff Gordon's 1-lap track record is history. Jeff, you still own the 8-lap record that was set on August 19th of 1990. So we'll see if that record can carry on.
It's going to be interesting to see. George Wilkins, who's starting on the pole, has not run a lot of pavement. This is only the second or third time I've seen him run the pavement. Maybe he's run more than that. And he's got a car that won the little 500, so it's a pretty good race. Ooh, look at Coletta back there in the back. Got all sideways, got on the throttle a little bit hard and broke the wheels loose and jumped sideways back there.
Well, he sure did. Already a battle for the lead as Abold is on the inside of Tim Cox, but Cox holds off the challenge down the backstretch. Abold takes another look in turns 3 and 4, sneaks up alongside. Both get a little bit wiggly, but off the corner, Pat Abold takes the lead. Tim Cox back to second. That's the white car of Bill Rose trying to move up. The 72 is George Wilkins, and for the most part, Steele and Coletta are caught back there behind third and fourth.
Well, they got caught behind those guys running side by side. There's no way to get around them. This thing is 2 cars wide, but it certainly is not 3 cars wide. At least I've never seen it very many times work to be 3 cars wide. And Steele right now, look at this. He's hunting all over the racetrack trying to find a place. Just can't do it.
Now, you got to finish in the top 4 to transfer for the feature, but on the other hand, you don't want to do anything stupid here in the early going and eliminate yourself for the evening, because the points battle is very much up for grabs. Kevin Thomas not running, and there's only 22 points separating Thomas and Tyler as we enter this event. But now Dave Steele begins to make the advance. He is up to 3rd place.
Yeah, he did get around Billy Rose pretty easily once he got the traffic cleared out. Now you can see what I was talking about. That race car doesn't look real happy on a racetrack, but it's just running so doggone fast that he keeps no good control of it. The thing, even though it looks like it's moving around, it's really running quick through the corner.
Doug Coletta is running in 5th position, so he's the odd man out at the moment, as now we see Dave Steele come up and challenge Tim Cox for the 2nd position.
He's just going to try to get a big run at him going into turn 3, which he did, and went right on around it.
There is Coletta. He's running in 5th position, and Larry, that car is certainly not running as quickly as I thought it would here in the heat race.
Well, Doug Coletta has not run very much this year. They've had a little trouble. They were up at Oregon, Wisconsin last week, and they did not have the car set up very well there. They had all kinds of trouble up there. I think they spun 3 times in the feature. They turned right around, went to Winchester, put the exact perfect setup on it, just went out there and ran a terrific race. So I think they're just searching a little bit. They've tried some new things with this car, and they're still doing a little experimenting because they know they're not in the championship hunt, and this time it looks like they just missed a little bit.
He is 5th, and right now will have to run the semi. Here's the white flag coming out. As you can see the interval there between Abold, the leader, and Dave Steele. Steele is running him down, but I don't think he has enough time because we're 3/4 of a lap away from the end of heat race number 1. Pat Abold in the 69 car looking pretty good. Steele is definitely catching him, though, no doubt about that.
Steele is just so fast through the corners. Look how fast he gets through the corner. Watch him coming off the corner.
Wow, he may get him. Look at this. Nope. By just a car length, Pat Abold holds off Dave Steele and takes the win in the first heat race of the evening. But boy, Steele had a great performance coming from the last row.
Well, he did a terrific job. I tell you what, that race car is probably as good as any race car I've seen at this racetrack. Well, probably since Jeff Gordon did that kind of a trick back in 1990. He really has that thing dialed in, because the 69 car of Hoffman, that Dynamics car, that's a fast race car, and he was really reeling them in very, very quickly.
Andy Mishner drove the car earlier in the year. Pat Abold has taken over as the driver of it, and comes home a winner here in our first 8-lap heat race of the evening at Indianapolis Raceway Park. It's ESPN2's Thunder, live from IRP in Indianapolis. The Stoops Freightliner USAC Sprint cars in action. We'll be right back.
First heat is history. We're back. Pat Abold has won it over Dave Steele, who was closing fast at the end. There are 2 reasons for that. Tim Cox and Bill Rose got the other transfers into the feature. We get the opportunity to talk to Pat, the veteran super modified racer. One reason Steele was catching you was that Steele's got a very fast race car that broke the track record here. What was the other reason that he was catching you?
Yeah, David's going real quick tonight. We've been struggling with a push coming off the corner all night. In fact, we already put 5 blister rings around the right front in the heat race, so we got some work to do to get ready for the race to stay up front.
So how do you fix that?
Well, it's up to the crew. We got to get back there, and I'll tell them what the car is doing. the Hoffman crew is really good, and they'll get it straightened out for me.
Thing was squirming around pretty good on the first lap. We'll take a look at the pass for the lead. Obviously, the car was a handful as you came in underneath him. Kind of got her sideways to go under him, but that didn't look like too big a problem.
No, I had to get it down on the bottom of the racetrack to free the car up so I could get it loose enough to get it off the corner because I couldn't make the pass up top. So we got it done, and we're transferred to the feature, and now we got to go fix the car.
How do you like these cars? Because we watch, I think we're going to get a look at the finish. Yeah, here comes Steele after you. Things pushing pretty bad at this point, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I was just soft stepping the throttle coming off the corner. I heard him back there. I knew he was back there, but I was kind of surprised I kept the lead, really.
For all the folks watching back home at Oswego, give me a comparison of driving a sprint car to a super modified.
I think you can see on TV there's not much of a comparison. Super modifieds are like driving a Cadillac on Sunday compared to these things. These things are a lot of fun.
All right, well, go get it and have some more fun. Congratulations.
Thanks,
Pat Abold has won the first of our heat races. We'll go topside to Gare and Laird.
Well, we are Gary and Larry. Have I been replaced
You've
already?
been replaced again. What a deal.
Oh, well. It's always great to... Dave, you want to correct that?
There's a saying that I've heard around the motorcycle racetracks for years called leaving your brain in the toolbox. Is that enough said?
Okay. We accept your apology. Always nice to be back at Indianapolis Raceway Park. We'll be here several times during the summer tonight for the Stoops Freightliner Sprint Cars. As has been said already, we enter the second half of the 97 sprint car season with this event here tonight, and the first half was predominantly pavement races. Of the 16 events, 10 of them were on pavement, 6 on dirt, and we had 10 different winners in the first half of the season. Now the second half is a totally different story. 4 pavement races, and 12 of them will be on dirt. Let's take a look at those drivers who won on the pavement. Dave Steele with the most 4. Chet Phillip won a pair. And then we had 4 drivers that won 1. In the dirt track action, we have Kevin Huntley, who won 2, Kevin Briscoe, Frankie Kerr, and J.J. Yaley with 1 victory each on the dirt tracks. Now, Larry, let's take a look at the top 5 in points and kind of digest where or who might be benefited by the second half of the season.
Well, I think Kevin Thompson is going to be the big beneficiary of the second half. He likes the dirt. He's won on a lot of the short dirt tracks around the country. He already holds the lead, so I think advantage has to go to Kevin Thomas. Brian Tyler, he is good on both pavement and dirt. He's probably the most consistent on both kinds of pavement, so Thomas does not have a big advantage on him. He has a very good chance of coming through and winning this championship. I think the big disadvantage for the second half has to go to David Steele. He's won 4 races, but he's also missed 4 races, all of them on the short dirt tracks that are coming up during this second half of the season. So I think he stands to lose the most. Another guy that stands to gain, though, is going to be Derek Davidson. This kid has grown up on all the short dirt tracks around Indiana and the Midwest, Ohio, and Illinois. He's very good on them, and I think he will gain some positions, and he'll do well the second half of the season. Jason McCord, I think everything lies in his hands. He can run equally well on dirt and pavement, but I think his real key is going to be getting that race car set up very well each and every time he goes to the racetrack.
On June the 9th, 1990, Jeff Gordon set the track record. It was broken here tonight by Dave Steele, and here is the record-breaking run. Jeff Gordon's old track record was 20.268, and Dave Steele went 20.0 tonight.
And that is very, very fast. You can see that the race car, just like it did in the heat race, it seems to be wanting to move around. But the reason it's moving around so much is he is just going so doggone fast. You put David Steele on this hard black stuff, and he's very, very tough.
As a matter of fact, as we look at the top qualifiers tonight, Brian Gerster also broke the track record. He went 20.211, and the other top qualifiers were Chet Phillip, Pat Abold, Brian Tyler, and Johnny Heidenreich. Well, one driver who we have missed for the last few races because of injuries got out of the hospital today, and we're very glad that he's with us here tonight. Dave is standing by with him.
You bet. This is one of those updates that we're happy to be able to do in person. Mark Casella, we talked about a couple of weeks ago after that horrendous ride at Terre Haute. Still got a little of the red eye there, but I'm sure happy to see you back at the racetrack. How you feeling?
Well, not too bad. I'm blind in my right eye right now. I think it'll take another week or so before I start seeing anything, but I'm just happy to be here.
Are they telling you that that's going to come back and you're going to be okay?
Well, they've never said anything any different, so that's what I'm planning.
Well, now, of course, everybody knows that race drivers are always eager to jump right back in there, but then I also also heard that, well, if you can't drive race cars, you can always go ride your motorcycle around and have fun on that. What is the future, short-term and long-term?
Well, if I can see, if my eye starts working, I'll go back to race. If I can, I won't race. I'm not going to hurt anybody because, you know, trying to do something that I want. So we'll just wait and let's see what happens.
How's it feel to be back among all your friends here?
It feels good seeing people that I haven't seen for 3 weeks, and I didn't realize I was gone that long, but it's nice to see everybody.
I heard that someplace off, I don't know, a week after you were in the hospital, they passed the hat and the fans came up with, what, $6,000 or something? Somebody just walked up and handed you?
Yeah, that was back in Pennsylvania. It's some tracks that I've won championships and had a lot of fans, and yeah, $6,000. I can use it right now.
Even if you can't remember the last couple of weeks, it's nice to know that the folks back there still remember you, huh?
My mom opened a checkbook, so that ought to help her some.
Listen, man, we're glad to see you back. Glad to see you feeling good.
Nice to be here. Thanks.
All right. Mark Casella says, hey, everything going to be all right as soon as he gets that eye straightened out. We're going to take a commercial break and come back with more. We're at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Got the sprint cars live tonight on the Thunder, and I invite you to stick around for the second heat coming up in a moment.
They are lining up the second heat race here at Indianapolis Raceway Park as Thunder presents the Stoops Freightliner USAC Sprint Cars. Tonight, here at IRP, let's take a look at the starting lineup for heat race number 2. Benny Rapp in car number 14 will be on the pole, flanked by Mike Blake in car number 81. Gary Fedewa, car 42, will start on the inside of the second row alongside Jason McCord in 95. Gus Wasson starts inside row 3. Brian Tyler outside, and Brian Gerster in car number 19 will start alone in the fourth row, our 7th participant in this race. Benny Rapp, Larry, I am anxious to find out sometime during the evening exactly how old he is. There are reports and speculation that he could be over 70 years old. I know he's been racing a long, long time.
Well, I know that when I raced against him back in the late 60s and early 70s, he seemed like a pretty old guy to me at that time. So, I mean, I'm not picking on him, but I mean, you know, when you're 21 years old, I suppose a guy 50 years old seems pretty old. Now that I'm 50, it doesn't seem nearly that old. But yeah, he's got a lot of age on him to be out here running with some of these guys, and still seems to be fairly quick.
Jason McCord, by the way, will carry our onboard camera. Lining up right behind him is Brian Tyler, who, now that appearance and qualifying points have been awarded, is only 22 points behind Kevin Thomas. Now, Tyler needs a 15th place finish in the feature to take the points lead, and if he can take it with a better finish depending upon how things go. Green flag comes out. We are racing at Indianapolis Raceway Park in heat race number 2, and Mike Blake jumps out to the lead from the outside of the front row.
He certainly does. It looks like he's pulled away to a little bit of a lead going in there. That's Benny Rapp's running in second place, doing a nice job, and then McCord running back in third position. Brian Tyler's mired back there in fifth, trying to find a way around Fedewa.
So Jason McCord looks inside and tries to find a way around Benny Rapp, but cannot do it. They're bunched up second through seventh back here as everybody tries to find a better lane. Now McCord again looking to the inside. Benny Rapp continuing to hold him off. Gary Fedewa is running in that fourth position, and
Brian Gerster back there in that 19 car, he made a move around the outside as everybody else was trying to go down to the inside. He got one spot, got around Wasson, but didn't gain a lot. You know, I thought maybe he was going to get more than he got, but it's a tough place to pass out there. The racetrack's pretty narrow. The fast groove is just one place. Now look at McCord way high trying to get around the outside. Fedewa in the red car down on the inside.
Yeah, he thought about going the high line, but off the corner, things closed up. He couldn't get the job done. Now, once again, to the inside of Benny Rapp, off the second corner and down the backstretch, but nothing happening as McCord stays in third position, and once again, he looks to the high side in turn 4. Is this going to work? Yeah, it is. He finally gets second position from Benny.
Well, and I'll tell you what, that was plenty close. He didn't have a lot of room to spare. Now then, Fedewa goes around the outside. Tyler was down on the inside. There goes Gerster. So once they started going around, it seemed like he got out of the throttle and everybody went around.
Yeah, everybody saw what happened and they thought, well, I'll try the same thing. And positions changed. Now, as we look at Brian Gerster there in the 19, McCord has caught up to the leader of the race, Mike Blake, and we have a battle for the lead. Everybody staying very closely bunched in this race. Blake is to the inside, and there's McCord going for the lead and getting it. Gerster goes for second and gets sideways.
He got way too low. Mike Blake's running a pretty low line. He got way down there in the flat part of the racetrack trying to go around him. Just could not make it work. Blake again goes down. Oh, he gets real sideways again.
Man, oh man, he was totally sideways, lost 2 positions, and so is back to 4th place now. And there is Gary Fedewa going to the inside of Blake and taking over 2nd position. And now here comes Tyler to the inside of Gerster. And the white flag is out.
That's the transfer spot. That's the 4th spot down there that those guys are battling for. Only 4 transfers, so that's why these guys are battling so hard. Look how close they're running, trying to get around Mike Blake. I think Gerster's going to lose this battle. He's stuck behind him, and there goes Tyler.
Oh, look at Gerster.
He almost ran down in the grass.
But it isn't going to work for him. There's McCord taking the checkered flag and winning the race. And Gerster did finish in 4th position as Mike Blake finished 5th.
Well, he mowed enough grass down there. He deserved to finish in 4th because I don't think I'd seen anybody since Steve Butler run that low into the corner. Wow.
Yeah, nice move. And Jason McCord comes out the winner of heat race number 2. And some great racing there in that heat as everybody stayed pretty much bunched together all through the 8 laps of competition.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. They all did a very, very nice job. Blake finally ended up not making the race, but obviously he was one of the slower cars starting on the front row, but he held those guys off for a long, long time. Gary Fedewa in that 42 car, he mostly runs with a wing on the pavement. Doesn't run very many non-wing races. He did a nice job, too.
So McCord wins the race. Fedewa finished in 2nd position, then Brian Tyler, and the 4th place went to Brian Gerster. Those 4 will transfer to the feature race later this evening. Brian Gerster was with a nice move onto turn number 3. It paid off for him. He finished in 4th position. We'll be back with more racing from IRP in just a moment. The 2nd of 3 heat races for the Stoops Freightliner Sprint Cars history here at IRP. Jason McCord comes out on top. Gary Fedewa 2nd, followed by Brian Tyler and Brian Gerster. Mike Blake finished 5th and will have to run the semi-feature. Down to victory lane. Here's Dave with Jason.
With Jason McCord, who has an opportunity tonight to win the extra $1,000 from wins as a heat race winner. You've been everything but a winner in this series. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Is tonight that you win one?
Well, I hope so, Dave. We kind of struggled qualifying. The car was actually a little bit spooky going down the straightaways. It's not where you expect it to be, and we made a lot of changes in between qualifying and the heat race, and made a world of difference. Car's really comfortable now. You know, drives nice. I can throttle it real nice, and you know, Trey House owns my car, and he takes care of it, and he does all the work on it, and he did a great job getting it ready.
Gave us some nice pictures from the onboard camera here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pass for the lead here. Blake was holding his own there for a pretty good while, and you finally got him put away. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I was having trouble getting around Benny Rapp. He's a little loose in the middle of the corner, and those guys were pulling down the middle of the racetrack, as you can see there, and it just, they left that outside lane open, and you know, around this place, it's all momentum. If you can get your wheel up next to them, they have to get out of the throttle and give you the preferred line. So, you know, it worked good. I couldn't ask for a better car for that, but like I say, we didn't qualify like great, so we're going to have to work our way up in the feature, you know, so.
I'll tell you what, this is your view of it, riding on the outside and going around the outside like that scares me. Did it scare you?
Like I say, if you can get your wheels up next to them quick enough, it's not too bad, but there's sometimes it's kind of borderline whether you're quick enough or not, but I knew Mike could see me. I gave him plenty of room, and he gave me plenty of room, so it didn't scare me too bad. You know what, you know, like I say, the car is nice. I hope it's that way again to feature.
Okay, man, you did a great job in the heat race. Good luck in the main.
Thanks, Dave. I want to thank Stoops Freightliner and tell everybody we got Indiana Sprint Week coming up this week in 7 races in 9 days. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Go get them, all right?
Thanks, Dave.
I'll tell you, that is going to be a very big deal. They got like $160,000 that they'll race for, plus all the USAC points that go with it as we start the second half of the season, as he said, with 7 sprint races in 9 days. It's going to be cool. Back up top.
Yeah, the purse was bumped up here just this week as Tony George kicked in $10,000 to Indiana Sprint Week coming up beginning on Saturday night in Lawrenceburg. Well, the last time we saw the USAC Sprints was at Winchester 2 weeks ago. Now, they've raced several times since then, including back at Winchester, where the historic cars and the veteran drivers were saluted. It was the 25th anniversary for the Winchester old-timers. Over 75 entries were on hand, from the famous Forberg Sprinter to this beautiful old midget. How about the famous number 5 Ben Leyva Champ Dirt car from the 1960s? And a Dominique Special dirt car built in 1968 and raced until 1982 by, among others, Tom Bigelow, who was one of many drivers on hand.
You know, Tom, this place has changed a lot from the time you and I first came here.
That's very true, Johnny. When I first come here, the first race ever here, I think I was about 10 seconds too slow to make the race. Then went on to become one of my most favorite tracks. But I don't believe I ever had the privilege to race against you at this joint, did I?
I think so. Maybe one. Did you run? You ran 1965 here. Of course, I say that year because I won both races that year, the 100-lapper and the 30-lapper.
Oh, well, no, that's long before my time.
Dave Steele, winner of 4 of the last 5 pavement races, suffered from engine problems and wasn't a factor all evening. On the front row for the feature, Brad Armstrong and Pat Abel. But the ones to watch were in the 3rd row, fast qualifier Brian Tyler and 94 Series champ Doug Coletta. Early on, Coletta got around Abel for the lead, but not for long, as Tyler was able to go low on the front stretch and pass both Abel and Coletta. 3 cautions slowed the proceedings. Gus Wasson and Armstrong, replacing Mark Casella in the 96 car, had the only incident of the evening. Neither driver was injured. Following a restart, the Tyler-Coletta show continued, with Doug trying but failing to make the pass, even getting a little sideways in turn 1. Meanwhile, the battle for 3rd was heated among Abel, Chet Phillip, Jason McCord, and Brian Gerster. But back up front, Coletta got a good run off turn 2, was finally able to get by Tyler for the lead. Brian had heated up his tires trying to hold off the challenge. Doug went on to take the victory, his first of the 1997 season. So Doug Coletta wins at Winchester, and there is a look at a kid named Robbie Rice, and we call him a second-generation driver. That make you feel old, Larry?
Certainly does.
He'll be one of the participants in Indiana Sprint Week that we mentioned is coming up starting on Saturday night in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Then they'll run Kokomo, Evans Kokomo Speedway on Sunday night. Then they resume on Wednesday at Terre Haute. They visit North Vernon on Thursday. And we're not finished yet. Friday, it's to Bloomington. Saturday, Paragon. And the final race will be on the 27th, Sunday evening in Putnamville. All of those are dirt tracks.
Yes, they are. And they're going to give away a new trophy, the Condra Memorial Trophy. It's been carved out of Indiana limestone. First time they've done something like this. Along with that, the great point fund. This is the best point fund I think this Indiana Sprint Series ever had. We've got some guys from California coming back to run it. Over $3,200 to the leader, pays down through 20 places. So, you know, it's become a lot bigger deal from the days about 4 or 5 years ago when there were just 3 races over one weekend.
Dave, how old is Benny Rapp?
Get the answer from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Benny Rapp, how old are you anyway?
I was born on March 11, 1928. So
he's going to make this difficult. 38, 48, 58, 68, 70. You're pretty old, huh?
Yeah, pretty old.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm pretty impressed with anybody who can get out here and drive one of these things, but you've been doing this for how many years?
I started in 1946.
1946. And how much racing do you do these days?
Oh, 2 to 3 nights a week.
Is that right? Where at?
Mostly up in Michigan and Ohio.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tickle to death to have you come down here tonight. You held him off for a long, long time, but you look like you were fighting that car a little bit. What's going on there?
Back-end's breaking loose on me.
Loose, huh?
Yeah. New tires, and it just ain't holding for me.
What are you going to do to it now before the semi?
Change some springs.
Change some springs around. Well, you better get to work. You anybody here helping you, or you have to do this all by yourself?
Yeah, they're here.
All right.
I got a couple guys with me.
Okay, man. Go to work. I'm tickled to see you here. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Benny Rapp. Man, I'll tell you what, that is some serious arithmetic. The man started racing at the end of World War II, and he's been doing it ever since. We're going to take a break and come back with more at Indianapolis Raceway Park. We're thundering. Stay with us.
The 3rd heat race is being pushed off here at Indianapolis Raceway Park as Thunder presents the USAC Stoops Freightliner Sprint Cars. Robbie Rice will be in this 3rd heat race. This is his 9th appearance in USAC Sprint Car competition in 1997. His best finish was 11th at Paragon. However, he won a heat race last week at Oregon, Wisconsin, right?
That's exactly right. He was only run about 3 pavement races, so he's relatively inexperienced on the pavement. And, you know, guys like that make some mistakes. We'll just have to see how this plays out.
Well, let's hope he doesn't make any mistakes and everything works out out well tonight. In the meantime, let's take a look at the starting lineup for this third heat race, which once again will be 8 laps long. On the front row will be Jimmy McCune in car number 88. Billy Puterball will start alongside car number 16. The second row, Doug Coletta, and make that Robbie Rice in car number 22, and Derek Davidson in car 17. And in the third row, Chet Phillip, car number 77, the bright yellow car, and alongside him will be Johnny Heidenreich in car number 96. All alone back in row number 4, Steve Anderson in car number 7.
Yeah, Steve Anderson actually was supposed to start in the front row. He elected. He's having some steering problems with that car. Kevin Thomas actually got in that car and tried to drive it. They're having some problems with the steering box, so he elected to start back in the back because he didn't want to get anybody in any trouble. So I just want to talk a little bit about Billy Puterball, who's starting outside of the front row. That's the only 6-cylinder car that's still left running on the USAC series. They have added weight to the 6 cylinders. Remember a couple of years ago they were allowed to be 225 pounds lighter than the V8s because of the less cubic inches. Well, they won so many races they kept adding and adding weight. Now then they have to weigh exactly the same thing as the V8s. So with 100 horsepower or 150 horsepower less, it puts a guy like Bill Puterball at a big disadvantage on a racetrack as big as Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Another second-generation driver. Of course, his father raced at the Indianapolis 500 a few years. Pace picks up as the green flag awaits the start of the third heat race. Off the fourth corner, and we are underway with heat race number 3. Billy Puterball with a brief lead down the straightaway, but McCune grabs the advantage in turn 2, and they were 3 abreast there going into turn number 1.
Well, they sure did. It looked pretty scary there for a minute, but McCune did do a nice job. He got onto Puterball. That 77 car, that's Chet Phillip. He started in the back. He's already up in the 4th, challenging for that 3rd position. Ooh.
He's just challenging with Davidson, and he takes 3rd position down the front straightaway, so Chet Phillip is a man on the move.
You can see right there, right along with Robbie Rice, the race car a little bit loose. He's battling. There he goes down on the inside. Not good enough. Puterball ran into the corner low. If you run into turn 3 low, it makes it very difficult to get low enough to pass the guy. That's what Puterball did right there. But now he goes a little higher into 1 and gives the opening that Chet Phillip needs to move into 2nd place.
Jimmy McCune is the leader of the race. Chet Phillip has just taken 2nd. Car a little wiggly coming off the 2nd corner. But now he has closed to within about 2 or 3 car lengths of the leader of the race, Jimmy McCune, as Puterball continues to run 3rd, and Davidson is 4th. Rice 5th, and Heidenreich back in 6th position. And now we watch Chet Phillip make a nice move in turn number 2 and blow off Jimmy McCune.
He just set that thing up perfectly. He just got that thing up the high side. He diamond going down off of turn 2. Just drove right down under him. He's got that car working very, very well to be able to turn it left and go right on by him like he did right there.
When you think of tonight's feature race, you're going to think, of course, of Dave Steele. You're going to probably think of guys like Jason McCord, who won the 2nd heat race, and you also got to think about Chet Phillip, who was always very, very good on the pavement, and he has lengthened his lead considerably now over 2nd place McCune, as McCune and Puterball and Davidson are all running right together.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about Chet Phillip's car, he's carrying the left front wheel awfully high down there. Look at this, Puterball tries to get back around McCune. You can see McCune pulled him a couple of car lengths down at the end of the straightaway.
Jimmy McCune, of course, is also running some ARCA stock cars this year, and has been in open wheel competition. Oh, Derek Davidson a little loose there on the main straightaway, getting the car sideways.
Yeah, he sure did. He got the thing, I don't know exactly what happened. Looked like he got a little loose. He just tried to straighten it up and got it all messed up.
And the battle continues for that 2nd position as the white flag comes out, and Chet Phillip has taken the white flag, but we concentrate now on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I don't think there's much doubt that these 4 drivers are going to transfer. Robbie Rice and Johnny Heidenreich and Anderson will not, but let's see how the order shakes down. Here comes Phillip off the corner, taking the checkered flag and winning the race, and the 2nd place is going to go to McCune, then Puterball and Davidson, with Robbie Rice finishing in 5th position and Heidenreich in 6th. Good run for Chet Phillip.
Yeah, he did a very nice job. He had that thing really, really hooked up. We didn't have a watch, so we don't know exactly how fast he was running, but he appeared to be running close to the same times that David Steele was earlier in the race. So could be a battle between these two come feature time.
There's the the onboard camera with Chet Phillip as we see him pulling onto the entrance lane to pit road, and he's looking for victory lane as he has come out a winner in the third heat race of the evening here at IRP.
Well, like I said, that he did a terrific job. The race car really looked like it was handling well. I'm a little surprised they carry the left front wheel like they do. Usually these cars, they try to make them stiff enough, keep all four wheels on the ground, but didn't seem to bother him. He was still fast.
All righty, well, we're going to take a break here and then come back in just a moment and talk with Chet Phillip. Coming up in just a few moments, the semi-feature and the big 30-lap feature is later this evening. Back with more from Indianapolis Raceway Park after this. Finish of heat race 3. Chet Phillip wins. Jimmy McCune second. Billy Peterbaugh third. And Derek Davidson fourth. Those four automatically to the feature. Robbie Rice finishes in 5th position. And then Johnny Heidenreich and Steve Anderson complete the third heat race. Down to victory lane. Here's Dave.
I'll tell you what, when Chet Phillip gets on a roll, you better look out. He had a string of 6 starts back early in the year. Wait, 2 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. You ready to start another tear like that here in the summertime?
Yeah, I had 2 bad races, and I feel like I'm in a slump. So, yeah, I hope we can get going again.
Let's talk about the car. They were saying that you were carrying the left front a little more than what they normally say on a sprint car. Why is that?
Well, it's something we did. Hopefully, we thought the track was going to be slick like last time here, and the track's pretty good. So now all of a sudden we're rolling a little bit more, but if it gets slick in the feature, we'll be good.
Looked like the thing was behaving pretty well when you were coming through the traffic here. We got a little videotape for you to admire here. The yellow 77 down there on the bottom. Looks a little crowded right there.
Yeah, it's a little crowded at this place. If you're going to get by somebody, you got to run close, and hopefully they'll give you room and you give them just enough room.
Will you then change the car, or will you hope that the track comes to you, given the conditions you talked about a minute ago?
Well, we're going to change a little bit, but not much, and we'll just hope that the track slicks up a little bit. When this track gets humid, it gets a little slick, and hopefully it'll just get slicker and slicker, and the track will come to us.
I heard our expert analyst, Larry Rice, a man who knows about this sort of thing, predict the possibility of a Phillip Steele battle for the win here tonight. You see it shaping up that way?
Well, I'm hope we're running first or second. Hope we can be in that position to give him a run for it.
Here comes the pass for the lead. This is when you put the icing on the cake and just drive down by the inside and make that look pretty easy, huh?
Well, yeah, it looks easy. I guess it wasn't too bad.
It always looks easier than it is. We congratulate you on the win and wish you good luck in the feature.
Thank you.
Okay, that is Chet Phillip, who has come home a winner here in the third of the heat races, and we go for the extra $1,000 from wins come main event time. Hello, sweetheart. Let's go back up topside.
Boy, that popcorn looks good, doesn't it? It's kind of interesting to hear him say that he hopes the track gets slick, because if it does, that's how they're set up.
Yeah, that's not what you usually hear these guys say. They usually start complaining and moaning and groaning, but obviously they've got the roll center set on that thing, hoping that it's going to get a little slicker, and if it doesn't, they'll probably just adjust the race car a little bit and try to keep that left front down on the ground a little more.
Well, Indianapolis Raceway Park has been very busy lately with testing going on for its upcoming Kroger Speed Fest, which involves the Silver Crown cars, the NASCAR Craftsman trucks, and the NASCAR Busch Series. Last week, that testing involved a couple of former Thunderheads that we were able to catch up with. 5 years ago, Meridian, Idaho resident Randy Tolsma packed up his wife and all their belongings and headed to the Midwest in an attempt to make a name for himself and become a full-time professional race car driver. He competed in the midgets and Silver Crown ranks, and his first win came after this heated duel with Mike Bliss in an IRP midget race in June of 1993. Randy went on to become the Silver Crown Rookie of the Year that season. But when he was unable to reach his goal of making the Indy 500 by the age of 30, he headed south to begin a new career with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Last year, that team was formed, and they ran a few selected races at the end of the season, and predictably, the goings were rough. But this year, Randy's fortunes appear to have changed for the better, with the recent addition of a new crew chief and a new engine builder. Has it all been worth it?
Sometimes you sure wonder. It is a lot of hard work, and I guess you have to be dedicated. I think it's that way with any profession. Anything you love to do and want to do, you have to give it your all. It's probably, this has been the most trying year I've ever had career-wise. But it's paying off, to run up front and be racing. And, Kenny Irwin and Mike Bliss are up there, and we ran together in the past. And now to get up there and begin racing with them again is good. And it's a lot of fun. Anytime you have a little bit of success, it seems to make up for all the bad times.
Meanwhile, over on the oval, another former Thunderhead was testing. Stevie Reeves in his Big A Auto Parts Busch Grand National car was preparing for the Kroger 200. Back in '92 and '93, Reeves won quite a few races here at IRP, en route to 2 consecutive USAC National Midget titles, the first time in nearly 2 decades that had happened. Stevie followed Jeff Gordon down to NASCAR, and things started off well, winning the pole for the Busch race at Bristol in '95. He's still looking for that first win. While he's not predicting that's going to happen, he'd still like to do well in front of the hometown crowd.
Well, looking forward to coming back home to my old stomping grounds. I think we got a good shot at running good this year. We had a good car last year, didn't qualify very well, but dropped the green, and we really came forward until we got a little incident in front of us, and we got hit from behind and put into it. So we had a pretty good start to the race last year, and hopefully this year we're going to come back and finish it off.
With all the open wheel standouts seemingly making their way to the IRL, we wondered if there was any truth to the rumor that Stevie's looking there for a ride.
Yeah, it's always in the air. I went to Texas and watched it there, and I tell you, watching Stewart and Buddy Lazier run side by side, that gave me the fever. I want to go running. I got a helmet paid and everything. We'll just see what shakes out. I mean, this is my main priority right now. Big A's gave me a great opportunity to run the full Busch schedule, and the team's really coming together. So we'll just see what happens. I mean, this is my main priority this year. We'll just see what happens in the future.
In consultation with the crew on the bold sprint car here, after working as hard as I think I've ever seen anybody work to get a transfer position in a sprint car race. We got some videotape of you scrambling in that heat race, man. You had to work for everything you got in that one, didn't you?
Yeah, we're not point racing, so we're generally not too concerned about doing anything crazy to, get to the front of those heat races. We just want to get transferred, so I was trying to be patient there and take my time, and it wound up that I looked at my watch and it was getting kind of late, so I had to do something fast. So, Willie Bowles has given me a great race car, Jim Wright and the folks up at Brayton Engineering. I got an awesome motor, and that helps me out sometimes. So we qualified pretty good, but Steele's fast, and we had him beat the first time we were here, and we had a little misfortune with about 5 laps to go. So we'll see if we can't give him a run tonight.
When you're in that situation, every place you try to stick it, there's a car. Every place you want to have an opening, it's full. How do you keep your patience in a situation like that, knowing that you haven't gotten to the transfer spot yet?
Well, it used to be you didn't keep it and you wrecked, and then you remembered having to fix the car, so you sort of learn that as you go. I'm 28, so I guess I've been doing this long enough. I've learned a little patience. Sometimes I lose my head and don't have any patience, but that's just part of it. You expect things will thin out a little bit, and they never did in that heat race. So we were fortunate we got transferred, and maybe we can give them a run in the feature.
How good's the car for the main event?
Car's real good. I mean, we were under the track record tonight, but there was a guy who went out 2 spots ahead of me, and he was a little faster than we were. So, it's going to be tough to win. Everybody, when you qualify as well as we did, and you got to be at the back of the invert, you got to pass some fast cars. But we'll just do our darndest and see if we can't get the Bowles-Brayton car up front, and maybe we'll win tonight.
Okay, man. Good luck.
Hey, thanks.
That's Brian Gerster. He was spectacular in the heat. Watch for him in the main event. The trucks are still under yellow, wreckers all over the place. We're going to take a commercial break or go back to the booth. What do we got coming up here? Let's go to the booth.
Well, I just wanted to comment that I think if you ask any race driver who has been out there for 4 or 5 years, that each of them will tell you that being patient and getting rid of the anxiousness is probably one of the best things that happens to a race driver.
Well, and it's one of the hardest things to learn, especially for a young driver. I think that's why Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, guys like that have been exceptional, because they have learned the art of patience early in their careers.
Good point. Well, truck still under caution, so we are now going to take a commercial break. We've still got the semi-feature coming up for the sprint cars. They're lining those cars up here on pit road. They'll be out there just as soon as this American truck race is finished. Back in a moment. Where is Benny Parsons when you need him? Now, there's your entire menu right there. First of all, your entree is a giant tenderloin flanked by some onion rings, and then you top everything off with a Dove bar. Man, oh man, it sounds good, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Well, the trucks are still out there under caution. They're trying to clean up the track after a couple of incidents here. And so while they're getting set to go back to action, we're going to take a look at some activity that occurred during this past weekend. We mentioned Indiana Sprint Week, 7 races and 9 nights, being a Saturday at Lawrenceburg. Several West Coast drivers are going to be here. Let's take a look at how a couple of them did last weekend.
Paris Auto Speedway was a site for the SCRA on Saturday. That's Jimmy Boytel scraping the dirt off the top of the wall in turn 1. Jay Drake, who has spent most of his summer in the Midwest, returned to his home state to start on the pole of the feature. He took the lead at the start, but Mike English bested Drake coming out of turn 2. At the end of the backstretch, English hooked a rut and lost momentum, allowing Drake to slip back past. He wasn't there very long, though. On the next lap, he got wide in turn 2 and could only watch as Rip Williams went on by. Red came out on lap 16 when Tony Jones tangled with Ron DiDonato, sending Jones into the fence. At the finish, the Ripper picked up his 3rd win in a row at Paris after leading 29 out of the 30 laps in the race. The Gasman Richard Griffin leads the points by 54 over defending series champ Ron Schumann, who's in his final year. Corey Kruisman is 3rd, followed by Williams and Mike Kirby. Also on Saturday, the NARC Budweiser Golden State Challenge Series was at the San Jose Speedway. Randy Tyner took command at the drop of the green for the 30-lap feature. On lap 9, Mark Monaco had a good run on Tyner when he jumped the cushion and lost 3 spots. The only person who came close to him after that was Randy Hannigan in the 83. However, Tyner was much too fast and took his 4th win in the last 7 races. Through a sign language interpreter, Tyner, who is hearing and speech impaired, tells the crowd about his victory.
Those West Coast guys are going to be coming back here to the Midwest for the Indiana Sprint Week that's coming up. They're going to have to deal with this guy, Derek Davidson. You got to be pretty excited about 7 races in 9 days, including 3 tracks where you've won before. That's pretty neat, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited. I think I'm just excited to see the West Coast guys come out here. In addition to running seven races in 9 days.
When you get an opportunity like that, how do you get that much equipment prepared? How much do you have to rely on the crew more than usual?
Oh, it's really the guy that wins Sprint Week's the guy that's going to have the best team and the best crew, and things like that, because it's going to be you got to have a lot of spares and things like that ready. If something does go wrong, and you just got to be really prepared to race that many times in that short distance.
You've kind of been sneaking up on these guys in this championship deal here with all the dirt races in the second half. How about the national championship picture? What have you set for a goal for this year?
Well, we set that goal, coming out, and then we've been struggling a little bit on the pavement, but things are starting to turn around. We're figuring out the pavement a little bit. I'm getting more comfortable with it, and if we have a good sprint week, it is a possibility, and we're to see what happens.
Okay, wish you good luck. He's got that degree from Purdue now, so he can concentrate on going out there kicking everybody around on the racetrack. Let's go back up top.
The last time we saw the USAC midgets, they were christening Pikes Peak International Raceway. In the last chance race, Eric Edenholm had the distinction of being the first to flip there. Ryan Newman, who had set a new midget speed record in qualifying of 139.2, passed Andrinen, went on to win. And the night before the 500, Dick St. John took the CarQuest ride for a ride. Ryan Newman won here also, an emotional one, and he didn't even know where victory lane was. Well, we'll see the USAC midgets in action a week from tonight here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, live on the Deuce at 9:30 Eastern Time. Here's Dave Despade.
Hey, we got a little family reunion thing going on down here. First, you've seen Brad Marvel on Thunder before as a driver, but now you're not driving. You got this kid over here. What are you doing now?
Well, I'm the chief mechanic and car owner for my son, Justin. He started racing about 6 weeks ago in a sprint car, and we're having a great time.
You won't feel bad if I ignore you and talk to him, will you?
That'd be just fine.
But I thought you'd like that. I understand that you're not only a heck of a race car driver, but you're a pretty good wrestler over at Brownsburg High School. Is that true?
Yeah, for my dad following in his footsteps, he's a real good wrestler, and now, I'm racing, trying to get at that too.
Are you going to be able to run the 7 races in 9 days here? You going to do this sprint week thing or not?
I'm going to try to run 4 just the short tracks. I don't know if I'm ready for any half miles yet. I've only ran in probably about 12 sprint car races. Done pretty good. My best finish is 8th place, so I'll see how I do in the future.
The kid is 18 years old when?
Today.
Today?
Yeah.
You know what that means, don't you?
I can get my USAC license.
I wonder if we can get somebody to make that happen. Perhaps Grandpa could step in here. This would be Bill Marvel, who's been helping us for I don't know how many years on Thunder, and you're going to retire, and we're going to miss you, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's kind of ironic. I think I'm retiring, and Justin's coming along. And Justin, for your birthday, first of all, you got to get used to me doing this, or somebody. And then for your birthday, Emily and I wanted you to have your license for USAC. You're fully a USAC driver now, and I know we'll be real proud of you, and I am already.
Thanks.
Hey, how's that feel?
Feels pretty good coming from Grandpa.
He is an authorized, legal, and licensed USAC sprint car driver at the age of 18. You and Robbie Rice and Pewterbaugh, all these second-generation guys coming out of Brownsburg, we need a nickname for your bunch. How about the boys from Brownsburg? How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Tear them up out there, okay?
Do the same.
We appreciate all your help over the years, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate everything you guys have done.
All right, 3 generations of the Marvels here having a big time. Star of the future getting his license. Let's go back topside.
And the semi-feature participants are just about ready to be pushed out onto the racetrack, and one of them will be young Robbie Rice, as he has the onboard camera above the car. He's waiting to be shoved out. We've got about 8 cars that are set to go here in this final race before the big 30-lap feature coming up.
Well, I'll tell you, this is going to be a tough race. They're going to take 6 cars out of this race. They're going to start 22 cars in the feature, and that means a couple of guys are going to miss it. So guys like Heidenreich and Kalita are not used to running the semi-feature, especially a guy like Doug Kalita.
So we'll see how things shake out when we return to Indianapolis Raceway Park. You're watching ESPN2's Thunder live, the USAC Stoops Freightliner Sprint Cars. Back in a moment.
We're back at Indianapolis Raceway Park, but I want to show you some great midget action from last weekend. Lots of the USAC stars on hand as Mara, Badger Midgets, and Neymars ran the co-sanctioned Big Buck Wolverine Nationals. It was wild. Kokomo, Friday night, Roger Miller, dang me, they ought to find a fence and hang me. No, not that Roger Miller. How about Larry Gibson? 1, 2, 3 flips with a full gainer, and he doesn't have enough wheels left to land on. Onto the feature, please. Dan Boers out front. Enjoy it, Dan, because here come Dave Darland on the bottom and Billy Boat on the top. A terrific battle for the lead, and there is a lesson here, boys and girls. The high side is spectacular. The low side pays better. But wait, there's more. Tony Elliott looking for a place to park. Drops out of third. Park it right there, Tony. Billy Boat looking for a place to park, drops out of second. You know what's coming, right? Dave Darland broke his suspension, drops out of the lead, which falls to Kevin Thomas. 20 to go. Second place, Kevin Olson looking for a place to park. He's out of fuel, so Thomas parks it at victory lane and says, show me $7,000 to win. Anybody got a light? $7,000. Wait a minute. Get that guy out of here. He's stinking up the show. All right, we want to talk to Andy Michener. We got another Thunderhead graduate who's looking to big things in the future. You're going to run a bunch of midget races yet this year, but what else?
Well, right now we're in conversation with 4 or 5 truck teams for, you know, possibly next year in '98, and hopefully we can make an announcement here in the next coming weeks.
That's pretty exciting stuff, obviously, with the guys that have come out of this league and gone to the trucks. Is that a stepping stone? What's the long-term career goal for Andy Michener?
I think so. I mean, it's definitely a stepping stone. You know, my long-term goal, obviously, is to be in NASCAR, hopefully in the next 5 to 7 years. And, you know, going to the truck series, I think it's an excellent stepping stone, a good learning place. Obviously, as, you know, everybody probably else knows, so in the Winston Cup. So, you know, we're looking forward to that and to be in the truck series in '98.
Okay, man, we'll be pulling for you. Good luck. All right, that's Andy Michener. Got a dead skunk in the middle of the road. Isn't that a song? Didn't somebody make a song out of that? We're going to get a commercial. Get that skunk out of here before he gets hurt. We'll be back with more right after this. This is nuts.
Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park, the skunk is still on the loose, and we hope that it will get out of here before too much longer. Here's the row assignments for the semi-feature. Johnny Heidenreich is on the pole at 96, Doug Kalita alongside. Second row has Gus Wasson and Robbie Rice. The third row will have George Wilkins and Mike Blake. In the fourth row, Steve Anderson and Benny Rapp. So those 8 cars are going, and 1 through 4 will transfer and get their time back, but everybody makes the feature, right?
Everybody's going to make the feature, so it's just a matter of if you run in the first 4, you will get a start farther up. The last 4 finishers will be the last 4 starting positions in the feature race.
There's a look at the young Mr. Rice as he gets set to go here, starting from 4th position on the outside of the second row. Pace cars off the racetrack, green flag is flying, and here we go for the semi-feature at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Johnny Heidenreich jumping out to the advantage as we ride along with Robbie Rice through the first and second corners. Robbie running 4th right now.
He You can see Heidenreich got a great start. Doug Coletta still seems to be struggling a little bit as Gus Wasson right behind him. Bryson running back there in 4th place, but Heidenreich in that 96 car, that's the Billy Casella car, jumped out into, oh, look at this. Coletta's having a heck of a time driving that thing down the straightaway.
Mark Casella, yep.
Mark Casella, excuse me.
Coletta's car is definitely, oh, look at this. He's sideways coming off the second corner. That thing is just not working the way it did at Winchester when he won the race. You're looking at 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. This race has been shortened to 8 laps because of time constraints. So there's Coletta holding on to 2nd. Gus Wasson, though, is really putting on the pressure in that car number 23, and Rice is running in 4th right behind Wasson.
Coletta is just extremely, extremely loose. That thing gets into the corner and just all of a sudden turns loose on him. Wasson trying to find a way to get around him, but he doesn't want to get up there and get caught up when he gets sideways and bang into him and get into a crash. So he's trying to find a way down on the bottom or around the top so that he doesn't have to run right exactly behind Coletta right at this point.
Johnny Heidenreich has just taken off. He is almost a full straightaway ahead of this battle for 2nd and 3rd position. There's Heidenreich coming off corner number 4. You can see the advantage that he has on the rest of the field. 4 laps have been completed out of the 8, and now Wasson looks inside of Doug Coletta going down the main straightaway. They continue to, however, run in the same order.
I think it's pretty unusual to see everybody running just a little bit loose. Heidenreich, you see in that last lap, he was a little bit loose. Coletta definitely is loose. Everybody seems to be running just a little bit loose on this racetrack. They talked about it being a tight racetrack and not slicking up, but still the race cars seem to me to be running pretty loose tonight.
So Doug Coletta still running in 2nd position. Wasson right behind him as they go down the backstretch once again. Wasson with about a 3-car length advantage there on Robbie Rice, who is running in 4th position. And if he finishes there, he'll get his qualifying time back, and that means that he will be placed up higher in the starting order for the feature.
You can see a look from his place. Looks like he's a little bit loose coming off. You can see right there the thing's just shaking loose a little bit, but actually looking not too bad.
Oh, we have Johnny Heidenreich in the fence up in turn number 3, and the white flag is coming out. Heidenreich stays up against the fence, and we don't see a caution at the moment. He's coming down toward the start-finish line. The white flag out, last lap. Let's see who wins. Once again, I think there's confusion as to whether or not the caution is out.
That flag well, the yellow flag is out. The yellow light is on.
Yeah, the yellow light is on, but the yellow flag is not flying, but the caution does slow down the field, and so they're going to finish in the order of Coletta, Wasson, Robbie Rice, and finishing in 4th position now is going to be the 6th car. Oh, we're going back to 6 laps, or we're going to finish the race? I guess we will go back to the previous lap, so we don't have a finish yet.
Well, yeah, at this point, to me, it doesn't make much sense to go ahead and run the last 2 laps. You got a yellow flag. They should probably just go ahead, get the race car off, go ahead and let them start the feature race. Let's see if we can see what happens as he goes down into the corner. Looks like everything's going pretty good. He enters the corner just a little bit high, maybe. Just running through there. I'm not sure he got in the fence. I think maybe the thing just died on it. No, the race car just, there's no power. The power just completely went away. He never got into the fence. He got up there and he got close to the fence because when the power went away, he tried to get up out of everybody's way.
Right.
He didn't know how close everybody was to him. So he just lost power and got up next to the fence to try to stay out of everybody's way.
Yeah, our cameramen and spotters who are outside there indicated that when the car went by them, the car was running really rough. So it simply quit on Heidenreich, and it's unfortunate because he had built up quite an advantage and was well on his way to victory. Now the green flag is going to come out here as they come around, and we're going to have 2 more laps to go in this event. So up front now is going to be Doug Coletta, Wasson 2nd, Rice 3rd, Blake is in 4th position, and the green waves.
And look at this, Wasson tries to get down on the inside, make a move, can't do it. Coletta got a great jump on him, got out there in front. Looks like right now Coletta is the strongest guy on the racetrack of those 3.
I think he is, but I don't think he's in the class of Dave Steele and Chet Phillip tonight, as is so often the case. White flag comes out.
No, I think you're right. Oh, Rice gets real sideways back there, got a little bit loose. Yeah, I don't think that race car is working nearly as well as he'd like to see it work, but it's still a pretty fast race car right now. I think as the tires got warmer, after a couple of laps, laps, the race car got a whole lot better. The first couple of laps of this race, he just looked like he had his hands full.
Wasson tried to give it one last shot there going into turn 3. It didn't work. Doug Coletta wins the semi-feature. Wasson is second, followed by Robbie Rice. Blake beats Benny Rapp to the 4th position. So Rapp finishes in 5th spot. Doug Coletta wins the semi, and so he will get his time back as far as the lineup for the feature race is concerned, and we certainly can't count him out of any race that he's in. So although the car doesn't appear to be running as well as he would like for it to, we'll wait and see what happens in the 30-lap feature coming up. Doug Coletta winning the semi-feature here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and now all that is left is the big 30-lapper.
You can see he's pulling in there. Don Schilling is the chief mechanic on that car, and obviously they're going to have to do some work.
So we'll take a break and be back to talk with Doug and set the stage for the feature race coming up here tonight. In just a moment, we're live at Indianapolis Raceway Park. The NHRA drag racers have embarked on their big West Coast swing. Their first stop is going to be at the Mopar Mile High Nationals near Denver, qualifying for that event on the Deuce Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And then on Sunday at 6:30 Eastern Time, the finals of this NHRA event, which will include, without question, Scott Coletta, as Doug Coletta has walked off with the win in the semi-feature, followed by Gus Wasson, Robbie Rice, and Mike Blake. Benny Rapp finished in 5th position. Here's Dave.
Well, the True Value semifinal has gone to Doug Coletta. That is Don Schilling working on the tire pressure adjustment here on the right rear. Don, of course, crew chief on the car himself, a former great driver. And Doug Coletta said, maybe I ought to go over by the car and see if we can get that thing just a little bit better before the feature, which is going to be starting momentarily. But we'll still make it official and congratulate you on the win. What the heck's the matter with that thing?
Well, we're struggling a little bit, but between Don and the rest of the guys here, I'm sure they can get it much closer than we were just then.
I saw him come over and kind of put his hands up like, what do we do? What'd you tell him?
We just need to tighten the car up. It's a little loose getting in and getting around the turn. So I think we're going to do something here that's really going to help it.
So you're feeling confident?
Oh, yeah.
You're just wishing we'd get this interview over so you could go get in the car, right?
Yeah, we're in the 4th row, so I think if it's right, we'll be able to go forward, I think.
Okay, man, this interview's over. Congratulations. Nice job in the semi. He has a very loose race car. I would say, boys in the booth, that might be a bit of an understatement.
Well, according to the information that we have been given, Doug Coletta will not start in the 4th row. He will start on the pole for this race. Now, that is because he does get his time back by finishing in the first 4 of that semi-feature. They invert the top 6 qualifiers, and so our information indicates that Coletta will be on the pole, flanked by Brian Tyler in the front row.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, and I think the reason was that Heidenreich did not make the race. He was the 6th fastest qualifier, and when he fell out of that race, it moved to the 7th fastest qualifier, who was Doug Coletta, up to the pole position. So I'm sure he's going to be a lot happier starting up there than he is back in row number 4.
We do know who's going to start 6th, the fastest qualifier tonight, and the guy that won his heat race, Dave Steele, and he's with the other Dave.
Dave Steele standing by, getting a final word here with Bob East as they prepare to go to work. The last time we were on television here with sprint cars 2 weeks ago at Winchester, we finished our television program by talking to this guy in victory lane. So the question, well, first of all, let's start with the congratulations on the new track record. That's pretty cool.
Thanks. It's really kind of an honor to get the track record away from Jeff Gordon. I can't believe it took someone 7 years to do it, but the track's in real good shape tonight, and Aristocrat wins Beast cars hooked up.
So tell me what you anticipate here for the 30 laps. Sitting on the outside of the front row, you're just going to take the lead in turn 1 and run away with it?
3rd row, you mean?
Yeah, 3rd row.
Well, there's a lot of tough guys in front of me, so it's by no means going to be an easy deal. So I don't think you can shoot right out into the lead at the green flag. We're probably just going to have to wait and look what the guys in front of us are doing and just go from there.
How critical is it to save the car a little bit for the first 10, 15 laps?
Usually the problem here is the car gets tight as the race goes on, so I think you'll just have to run flat out for 30 laps and just, you know, if your car's working good at the end, I think you'll be in good shape.
I have a suggestion for the 5 guys in front of him. Watch out, because Steele's going to be coming after him. He's won the first 2 sprint car races of the year here at Indianapolis Raceway Park tonight. He will try to complete the sweep, and he is the fastest man in the history of this little bull ring. Guys?
Going to be interesting to see if it's going to be Dave Steele, Chet Phillip, maybe it's going to be Brian Tyler. Now, after the heat and the qualifying points have been awarded, Tyler is now within 18 of taking the point lead away from Kevin Thomas, who was involved in a crash in hot laps and has not competed here tonight. Brian will take the points lead if he finishes 17th or better, Dave.
Brian Tyler in great shape in terms of points here this evening with the point leader parked for the evening. So what's your game plan for the 30 laps?
We started on the front row. I just got to run real hard. We was clocking the cars in the heat races and stuff. And right now I'm about a 2nd or 3rd place car. So hopefully the changes we made and stuff, we can pick the pace up and win this.
What'd you change? What are you looking for?
We changed stagger a little bit, changed springs a little bit, some ride heights and stuff. So, you know, just tried to tighten the car up a little bit. It was flagging the back end pretty bad coming off the corner in the heat race. So,
do you think about the championship at this point? Do you think about the possibility that you can take over the point lead, or do you focus on trying to win this race?
You got to take it a race by race. You know, we run as hard as we can, take what we get. You know, the points will come with it. Kevin's a good hard charger, and he's tough on the dirt, and we're tough on the pavement. So hopefully it'll equal out at the end of the year.
All right, we're on the pavement tonight, and this guy's got a real shot at that championship lead. That's Brian Tyler getting set to go to work.
Indeed he does. We have a nice lineup, 20 cars strong, that are getting set to go out there for 30 laps of racing. Now there is Johnny Heidenreich, and he is scheduled to start at the tail of the field because he did not finish in the top 4 of the semi-feature.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're working on it, though, so I doubt if he's going to get to start the race. Pat Abold, Jason McCord, and Chet Phillip, of course, are the guys who have the chance to win the Wins Challenge money tonight. He's going to go get him a hot dog, so I know he's not going to go out there and run the feature. So Benny Rapp and Steve Anderson are winners of the Winning Spirit Awards for the 2 slowest qualifiers of the night, and they'll each get $250 from Wins.
Drivers getting in their cars, strapping on the helmets, getting buckled in, and getting set for 30 laps of racing. We do not know at the moment the outcome of the skunk. We don't know whether it has left the premises or whether it's still running around in the infield someplace.
You know, every time we start something like we did on our last show, talking about all the open wheel guys, we mentioned Gordon and we mentioned Reeves and we saw Tolsman, everybody, we always leave somebody out. John Andretti goes out and wins the race. Of course, he ran here. We didn't even talk about him. Andy Hillenberg, he's won at Daytona before in the ARCA cars and the Busch cars, and of course Kenny Schrader, who's been a long time down there. He's one of the first open wheel guys to go down there, and we, you know, so you never should start mentioning lists like that because you're always going to leave somebody out.
Starting on the inside of row number 6 tonight will be the number 6 car driven by Bill Rose. Dave?
Getting the hat on, getting the gloves on, getting ready to go to work here. A lot of cars in front of him, and passing is tricky at this joint. Let's find out how the guy who loves the dirt plans to pass them all on the pavement tonight. What's the game plan, man?
Well, the thing is, just try to save my tires for the end. And finally got the Bryan heated cooling and Crestline car working pretty good. We've struggled with it quite a bit, but just basically save the tires a little bit and hope we're there at the end.
What would satisfy you tonight in terms of a finish?
Well, it'd be nice if we had a top 5 finish. We haven't run very much pavement this year. We've been kind of struggling, so if we get a top 5, we'll be real happy with that.
All right, go get him. There's a man shooting for a top 5 finish. This is a man about to get out of the way because they're starting to push cars here in anticipation of the start of the 30-lap main event.
Let's take a look at some upcoming USAC races here, both the midgets and the Western States and the sprint cars. And while we're doing that, we want to say hi to Buzz Calkins, who we know always watches our Thunder telecast. Buzz recuperating from a bit of an injury suffered in testing. He's going to be back in the IRL before too long. Buzz, nice to have you with us tonight. All right, let's take a break. Things are just about ready to be pushed off here. The 30-lap feature for the Stoops Freightliner Sprint Cars coming up on ESPN2's Thunder. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Indianapolis Raceway Park. The feature race being pushed off, just about set to go here. First of all, we would like to have a tip of the hat to the fine people at CarQuest who provide the onboard cameras for you tonight, and we have 3 of them, including Chet Phillip, Jason McCord, and Robbie Rice. For your nearest CarQuest dealer, just dial 1-800-492-HEART.
They have been some very good shots from inside those cars tonight. So they got, I think, 3 cameras on each car, and they've all got quite different shots. We've had some good video from in there tonight.
Let's review quickly the results of the heat races that we have had here this evening. The first heat was won by Pat Abold, with Dave Steele finishing in 2nd position. Tim Cox and Bill Rose also transferred. Doug Coletta did not and did win the semi-feature race. The second heat race was won by Jason McCord, right?
Yes. It was Jason McCord who won the second heat race. Chet Phillip then won the third heat race. We don't have, there's the third heat race. Jimmy McCune, Billy Peterball, and Derek Davidson rounded out the top 4 there. But those 3 guys, as we said, will have the chance to win the wins money as the winners of the 3 heat races as they were drawn out there tonight. Also, while we got a chance, I just want to say hi to an old friend of mine that's not feeling too great, Gene Overlander. I hope you're get feeling better. And say hello to everybody at the Green Street Station that says they watch us every week.
There is Chet Phillip as he is strapped in and ready to go racing here. Chet Phillip will start on the outside of row number 2 in the feature race coming up.
That advanced you see on his helmet, that's the advanced shock. Of course, he and his brother run the advanced shock facility here in Indianapolis. They have Carrera shocks, and they do all the fine-tuning, testing, and everything for the Carrera shock. Carrera and Pro are the 2 major shocks in automobile racing right now.
We've still got 1 more car to be pushed off, so while it is being pushed off and while they are lining up, we're going to take another break and then come back with the start of the feature here tonight at IRP. Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Looks like it's almost a full moon over Indianapolis tonight. Maybe not quite, but it's getting there. And we are set now for the feature event. Here's the starting lineup. Doug Coletta and Brian Tyler on the front row. Pat Abold and Chet Phillip will be starting in row number 2, 69 and 77. Row number 3, Brian Gerster in 19 and Dave Steele in car number 2. The 4th row, Gus Wasson in number 23 and Robbie Rice in 22. The 5th row, Jason McCord in 95, Derek Davidson in 17. Row number 6, Bill Rose in car 6 and Gary Fedewa in 42. The 7th row has Jimmy McCune in car number 88 and the 40 of Tim Cox. The 8th row, 81, Mike Blake, and 16, Billy Peterball Jr. 9th row, Benny Rapp in car 14 and Steve Anderson in 7. And in the 10th row will be car number 72, George Wilkins. Johnny Heidenreich, as we saw, was headed for the concession stand and therefore will not start this race.
Yes, he, of course, along with Kevin Thomas, were here. We had 24 cars here tonight, but several of them having mechanical trouble, Jeff Bloom being one of those. And we're riding along with Chet Phillip right now. And he's going to start outside of the 2nd row, right behind Brian Tyler. So we're going to get a good look at what this start looks like. I guess we're going to see it from outside the car now.
Well, in any case, here we go. The green flag comes out, and we are racing at Indianapolis Raceway Park, the feature on Thunder tonight. Pat Abold looks like he's gone to the inside, and they're 2 abreast going through the 2nd corner. Now they get settled out just a little bit, and Doug Coletta has taken the lead, but look at Chet Phillip move up.
Well, Chet Phillip is the only guy that got down on the inside of the racetrack and was able to stick down in there and run pretty good. If he can do that, then he's going to have a heck of a chance. He got down on the inside of Coletta going into turn 1 and just smoked right on by him.
And so out front now is Pat Abold with the 77 car of Chet Phillip running in 2nd position. Brian Tyler is in 3rd spot as they come off the corner once again. Now Coletta is back in 4th, but he's receiving a challenge from Dave Steele on the inside, and Steele's got him.
Yeah, Steele looks to be strong. He, Tyler, and it looks like Phillip are going to be the guys that are really strong, although here comes Gerster in that 19 car. He is very, very quick on this racetrack as well. Gus Wasson right behind him.
Gerster in the middle here. That's Doug Kalita in the black number 22 as Gerster comes up close to him on the main straightaway into turn number 1. Gus Wasson running behind Brian Gerster, so they hold their positions here. And now Gerster takes a look to the inside of Kalita and makes the pass going into turn 3.
You got a good run off of number 2. That's the key to this racetrack. If you can get a good run off of number 2, get a shot down the back straightaway, and outbreak a guy getting into 3, just drive on by him. And that's exactly what he did.
So Gerster takes over 5th position. Here is the battle for 3rd. Brian Tyler, car number 4, and Dave Steele, who's been quick all evening. He tried to make the move going into the 3rd corner, but did not have the opportunity to do so. And now, off of the corner down the straightaway, still not able to.
Well, I think he's being very, very patient right now. We talked about this is a 30-lap race. He doesn't have to do everything in the first few laps. So far, he hasn't slipped a tire. He hasn't done anything silly, but he wants very badly to get around Tyler so he can get up to Chet Phillip before Phillip gets too far away from him. And Phillip right now, they're still running in 2nd place.
Now Steele has him coming off the 4th corner down the straightaway, and Dave Steele goes to 3rd spot. Of course, Brian wants to finish up front as much as possible because it's just that many more points that he can add to his lead over Kevin Thomas. That is, if things go as they are right now. A battle for the lead is shaping up as Chet Phillip has caught up to Pat Abel.
Yeah, he's caught him. He's just stalking him right now, trying to figure out a way to get around him. He's a little bit faster, but he doesn't want to do anything silly. It looks like Abel just pulls away from him down at the end of the straightaway, and then Phillip catches him right through the middle of the corner. But that engine is going to, if he's got that much more engine, that's going to be a big help for Pat Abel.
On board with Chet Phillip. Well, looks like Abel got a little wide there in the corner. I thought maybe Chet would be able to make more of it than he was able to, but still has about a car length and a half between himself and the leader, Pat Abel. They come through corner number 4, and Kalita once again, or rather Phillip once again closes in. Now he may head for the high side. Nope.
Well, we're 1/3 of the way into the race. Now, remember that Abel started pushing the front end about this time in the heat race. We're going to find out real quick if they got that solved or not. It looks to me like he's entering the corner lower and coming off a little bit higher. No, he stayed low that time coming off the corner, so maybe they've got that thing handled a little bit better so it doesn't push the right front tire off the car.
While we're watching out front of Chet Phillip, if we would look behind, we would see that Dave Steele is right on his back bumper, or catching up pretty quickly. There's Steele in the 2-car, and so it's becoming a 3-car battle for the lead.
Oh, and Steve Anderson's fun down there just in the 9th, just as Steele went by, he was way on the bottom of the racetrack. He got sideways and spun, barely missed Steele. Steele did a good job to get around him.
Steve Anderson has brought out the first caution of our 30-lapper here, and that car to the inside of the racetrack, but it gives us a little bit of a breather here as those 3 cars now are right with each other and battling for the lead. We're 1/3 of the way through the race. We go back to lap number 10. And here it is once again, Larry.
Steele, Steve Anderson's trying to stay way down on the inside. Steele's just going around there, and about the time he passes him, Anderson started to lose it. If he'd have lost that thing 10 feet sooner, he'd have collected Steele.
But everything is okay. I don't think Anderson hit anything. If he did, he didn't hit it hard, but it has brought out the caution. Hey, some great racing here in the first 10 of 30 laps. Pat Abel, Chet Phillip, and Dave Steele going at it tooth and nail. And we'll be back for the resumption of the race in just a moment. Brian Tyler is 4th, Brian Gerster running 5th. ESPN2's Thunder from IRP being brought to you by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. Also, hats off to Airworks and Dick Kagi for providing the lifts that allow us to get the onboard signal from the car to you in your home. Well, we're still under caution. However, the drivers are being given the 1 more lap to go signal. It's Abel, Phillip, Steele, Tyler, and Gerster 1 through 5.
Well, Kalita's still holding on to 6th, then Gus Wasson behind him. Then McCord is running in 8th position, Robbie Rice in 9th, and Derek Davidson round out the top 10.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here when the green flag flies, because without question, Phillip and Dave Steele were closing in on Pat Abold, and as a matter of fact, Phillip has been trying to pass Abold for the last few laps, but as we have said so many times, there's a difference between catching and passing.
Well, the tires cool down, so we'll see. Abold he got to start way back over in turn 3. Usually they don't take off quite that early, but he didn't want to take a chance. And look at Steele. Already he put the challenge on Chet Phillip. Couldn't get around him. Phillip held him off. But Abold is the one who got off to a nice big jump out front there.
He did indeed. Has about a 3-car length advantage now on Chet Phillip, as now that interval closes in, and Dave Steele did get a good run on Chet Phillip, trying to make the pass, could not, and makes no effort to challenge him that time around. And so we look back on Dave Steele now from Phillips on board.
Let's take a look at him. When he gets this thing pinched down on the inside, it looks like the car gets a little loose. He likes running up there right in that groove, right where he's at right now. And you can see the car very, very stable, very, very handling very well. But he just can't run in that spot and go around anybody. He's got to either go above him or below him. Now that it looks like he's going to try it on the outside. Not enough room up there either.
These guys are nose to tail all the way around this racetrack. Dave Steele has won 4 times this year in USAC Stoops Freightliner Sprint Car competition, all on the pavement, and once again he closes in on Chet.
Yeah, he's trying to find a way. He's tried on the outside coming off the corner. He tries to duck down under him this time coming off. Just not enough room down there. All 3 of these guys driving great races, and their cars are all fast, fast, fast.
Indeed they are. Phillip now looks to the outside. Nothing going on there. Brian Tyler, by the way, Brian Gerster, Doug Coletta, and Jason McCord are running behind this great 3-car battle for the lead. Steele inside off the corner.
Yeah, he's trying. Oh, right there. Looked like he almost gave him a little bump right there. Steve Anderson again down on the inside. Not causing anybody too much trouble. He's so far out of there. But it looked like Abold got out of the throttle when he come up on that last car. And, I think he's getting, I think that thing's not handling quite as well right now as it was earlier. Yeah, looks like they're really giving him a lot of trouble right now.
Definitely. Coletta and Steele both, as Abold has perhaps lost the handle on that car just a little bit. Look at that Chet Phillip go to the outside. Still nothing there. He goes to the inside now down the straightaway, but still, Pat Abold holds him off.
He's pushing the front end really, really bad. You can see right there, he's got that thing turned hard left. He's trying to keep that thing. You can look at the right front. See if you can see any lines on that right front, because I know he's starting to blister the right front tire, and it's going to be hard for him to hold these guys off. See how he runs real low right there, so that when the car pushes up to the fence, he's got lots of room. That's the reason he comes off the corner so low.
Man, oh man. Coletta, though, still, Phillip, I keep calling him Coletta. Yeah, we can't quite see the tire, but it could be blistered. And look at now Coletta, Phillip almost run into the back of it.
Phillip is trying everything, but he's using up so much of the racetrack. He goes in way right up in the middle, then he goes right down to the bottom, and he's not down. Now that he's got a shot at it, but see, if you stick your nose up there too far, and he doesn't see you, then you're both going to be in the fence. So you got to be really careful when you start sticking your nose on the outside of a guy.
Meanwhile, Dave Steele is right there to give the challenge to Chet Phillip. These 3 cars still running nose to tail right together on the racetrack, but no passing. Now, Chet Phillip again with the effort off the corner, and he cannot get it done.
I tell you what, the way he's running that racetrack off the corner, he's doing a perfect job to keep those guys behind him. He's running right down to the bottom, then right up to the fence. See there how bad that thing's pushing? And then he runs right up to the fence, though, and he doesn't give him enough time to get that big shot around the outside. But boy, he is holding them up right now.
10 laps to go. 20 have been completed. They're over on the backstretch now. And Chet Phillip still cannot make the pass. He looks to the outside once again. Can he make it stick? He may have him this time. They come off the corner. Oh, they almost touch coming off the corner. They're wheel to wheel down the straightaway. Abold still able to hold off the challenge. And now Chet Phillip finally takes the lead.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that took a lot of guts to stick that thing on the outside when you know that car in front of you is pushing as bad as he was pushing. But he did it anyway. Now then, if he's really in the driver's seat, because he's in lap traffic. If he can get through that lap traffic, it's going to be be hard for Steele to come up there and get on around him. Now then, the lap traffic helped him get around Abold, and there goes Tyler as he moves into third place. So Abold drops about 3 spots in about 2 laps.
Yep, they had trouble getting through the lap traffic. There is Brian Tyler as he's moved to third position. They had trouble getting around the lap cars of Vinnie Rapp and Mike Blake. Now things shake out as Chet Phillip has the lead. Running in second position is Dave Steele. Brian Tyler is third. Abold back to fourth. And there's the interval between first and second. Steele, however, is closing in rapidly.
Well, I tell you what, Steele is catching him, but boy, catching him and then passing him is going to be 2 different stories because Chet Phillip is hooked up. Both these cars, we said earlier, they look to be the 2 fastest cars on the racetrack. I don't think there's any doubt about it. These guys are just pulling away now as Tyler's running in third, but he's a half a straightaway behind him.
Look at Dave Steele trying to get a run off the backstretch through the third and fourth corners, but there's nothing going on at the moment. Little spark there from Chet Phillip's car as they come down the straightaway, and once again, we see Steele closing in on him. There are less than 5 laps to go in this 30-lap event. Coming around next time, they will complete lap 26.
Well, he's working pretty hard. Way down on the inside. He was almost one of those grass cut deals there down on the inside. Just couldn't quite get it done, though. And I'll tell you what, he's worked every place on the racetrack trying to get around him. Just can't do it.
It could boil down to lap traffic because we have a whole bunch of cars running ahead of Chet Phillip and Dave Steele. If they can catch up to them, it could come down to who is where when they start the lapping. And here they come around to complete lap number 27. There are only 3 laps to go. Look at Dave Steele once again with a good run. Doug Coletta has spun, but he continued. However, it still brings out the caution flag.
Well, that's probably a break for somebody, and I'm not sure who. They were both going to be into lap traffic. I'm sure Dave Steele wanted to see him to get into the lap traffic because that was going to be his best chance to get around. But he did not, now they're not going to have that.
We go back to lap number 26 and pick it up from there, but this is what happened to Doug Coletta back on the backstretch.
It looks like he just got on the throttle trying to keep McCord from getting around him, and when he did, I'm not sure whether they made contact or not, but he turned back to the right to miss him. He just turned that thing completely around. I'll tell you what, they talk about how good you are when something like that happens. A lot of it's luck. I'm going to tell you, it'd been real easy to hit that fence.
You're doggone right. Another person that was lucky was Mike Blake, who was right there as Coletta went around. So here's the situation. We got 4 more laps to go when we go back to green. Chet Phillip is the leader of the race. Dave Steele running second, then Brian Tyler, Pat Abold, and Brian Gerster. And what's going through Chet Phillip's mind as we take a look at it?
Well, he's sitting there thinking, I know he's there. I know he's really fast. I got to run 4 perfect laps. You can see the left rear tire. You can see that it's worn a little bit. You can see that he's used that thing up pretty hard. But he's just thinking, I want to run this racetrack 4 perfect laps. If he's going to go around me, then he's going to have to do something that I don't think he can do. He's going to have to go around the outside, or he's going to have to give me a slide job on the inside. So if I run in there as hard as I can run, I run it nice and smooth through the corner, he's going to have to do something that is almost inhuman to get around.
Well, we'll be right back here at Indianapolis Raceway Park next Wednesday night for the USAC National Midget Series. We'll be on the air live at 9:30 Eastern Time on the Deuce. Don't forget ESPN Speed Week, which will be on at 12:30 Friday night. We will have a Pocono preview and an NHRA Denver qualifying recap. That's 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday night. Signal been given. They going back green, Larry?
They're going back green next time around. So it's going to be a 4-lap shootout. We're going to see if Dave Steele, now the restart is going to be ever so important. Now remember, John Andretti is down at the firecracker. He didn't let anybody get a run on him. That's what, look at this. Chet Phillip, I don't think they're going to let this stand. Was he around him before the green flag came out?
Well, it's going to be a real close call. I don't know, but with
man, oh man.
Steele has taken the lead from Chet Phillip, but we don't know whether it's going to stand or not. I guess it will. They have not thrown the caution, and so they have ruled that the green flag was flying when Dave Steele made the pass. Here he comes around to complete lap number 27. 3 laps to go.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Chet Phillip is not going to be real happy with that decision. I don't know whether the green flag was already flying when he went around him or not. It went around him clear back in the middle of the corner. So if I'm Chet Phillip, I'm not going to agree with it, whether it was right or not, because it was a tough thing to get past way back there that early in the corner of the race.
Well, Chet Phillip is, as you can see, several car lengths behind Dave and not giving him a run for his money here in the closing laps. And so I think he's hoping that there will be a ruling that he passed too early. In any case, the white flag is coming out for Dave Steele as he comes off of quarter number 4. One more lap around the 5/8 mile oval at IRP.
Well, the other thing that might be possible is he got on the throttle and the engine stumbled a little bit, which would certainly give Steele the right to go around him. So we don't really know the circumstances, but I just know it's got to be a heartbreaker for Chet Phillip, knowing that he was leading this thing and it was going to be tough for Steele to go around him and then lose it on a restart like that.
Dave Steele takes the checkered flag, wins here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, his 5th victory of 1997, and coming off the 4th corner on the last lap, Brian Gerster was able to get around Pat Abel and pick up the 4th position. So the winner of the Hinckley and Schmitt Sprint Classic here at Indianapolis Raceway Park is Dave Steele, as Brian Tyler has taken the points lead by 36 over Kevin Thomas. Dave Steele holds on to 3rd in the points, 94 behind Thomas. Let's take a look at this restart and what happened when the green came out.
Well, they're off. The pace car is off, and it looks like they've already picked up the throttle, and it just looks like he just out-snookered him. He got down on the inside there, gassed it, slid right up in front of him, and obviously the green flag was flying when that went on, so he is the winner of the race.
It is a good one, Dave. We've had a lot of fun up here tonight. Dave Steele comes home victorious once again here. He was victorious at Winchester a couple of weeks ago on Wednesday night, and now he has taken the checkered flag once again here on Thunder.
Well, Dave, you got anybody down there?
The real race is to see if we get him on the air before we have to go off the air. Dave Steele, congratulations. We're out of time, buddy. That was a heck of a restart.
Thanks. I got to give all the credit to Johnny Vance. Johnny Vance, my car owner, Bob East. If it wasn't for those guys, it wouldn't be possible.
He is 3 for 3 at Indianapolis Raceway Park, ladies and gentlemen. He has won all of the sprint car races here this year. He gets the extra $1,000 from wins. Dave Steele is the hero, and Chet Phillip is very unhappy about the way this one has turned out tonight. We hope you enjoyed all the wild action on Thunder. We're going to come back here next Wednesday night and do it all over again with the midgets. For Bob Jenkins and Larry Rice, I'm Dave Despain saying congratulations, Dave Steele, and we'll see you next week.